At midnight, a normal guy is about to shut down a game he's been playing for the past 15 years, but somehow he finds himself transported to a magical world where he is one of the main characters in it, Hakuto, the man who's known as the Demon Lord. After a while, he realized what happened, and suddenly, a blonde girl shows up asking him to run away. A few seconds after, a huge monster named Greole appears. At first, it attacked Kunai and hurt him in his face, but the man realizes he's overpowered, so he attacks back and defeats the beast easily. The girl thanks him for what he did, and she introduces herself as Ako. The man then asks her if she knows a country named Japan, but she never heard of it, and the world they live in is called the Kingdom of Holy Light. The man tells the girl to take a bath in the lake, where he walks around to discover the forest. After she finished, he offers to carry her since her leg is broken. At first, she refused because she is shy and no one ever treated her in a good way, but he didn't care to what she said and gave her a ride on his back. As they walk, Kunai confirms they speak the same language, which makes it easy for them to communicate. Few minutes later, the couple arrives at the wishing shrine. The man drops the girl and decides to enter alone since it seems to be dangerous. On his way, he spots multiple dead bodies and a huge talking monument called the Idol Orphan who greets him. As expected, he wishes to go back to Japan and back to his normal form, but all what the idol did is giving him a magical ring before it vanishes away. Kunai sadly goes back to the girl outside and decides to take her with him as a companion since she knows the word better than him. Next, they go to the kingdom's capital and they stop by the village of Ako. After seeing the villagers, Kunai switched to stealth mode to see how the villagers would treat the girl, and exactly like Aku said before, they start hitting her, and before he does any move to stop them, his ring orders them to kill them all. But Akira controls his senses and he only burns the village and scares them. Somewhere else in the world, we see one of the holy maidens, Luna Elegant, who's on her way to defeat the chief of the malls, Greole. Before she arrives, the leader gets informed that she's on her way. Meanwhile, Akira manages using his magic to create a well-equipped base camp, and the girl takes advantage of this and offers herself the first hot bath in her life, while he's still thinking about a way to go back to his world. And the next day, they continue their journey to the capital, but they suddenly get attacked by the bandit. Kunai is more powerful, and at the first sight, he recognized the leader as his manager, and it took him a couple of minutes to realize they are totally different persons. Suddenly, Luna interrupts their fight and attacks them all at once with her flashy arrows, and this didn't please Kunai, so he simply moves towards her and hits her like a kid for being such a bad girl. Then he steals her money and they go all together to the capital. As they arrive, the man offers Aku some delicious food and then he rents a room before going to shop some new clothes with the new money he stole from the maid. After this, Aku's look changed a lot, so Kunai takes her to a fancy restaurant to get some delicious food. Suddenly, Luna joins the table for dinner and they go all to the same room at the end of the evening to get some rest. In the next day, Kunai saw his empty wallet and decided to sell one of his most valuable teacups in order to get some money. As he did so, he decides to invite the two girls for dinner, and while he's walking around, he could hear the voices of a woman calling for Luna. She's her elder sister, Killer Queen, and as they talk, a group named Satanist Scum appears to kill the two sisters. At first, they both resisted well, but they couldn't last more until a man called Zero Kirisami arrives and saves them with his overwhelmed power. At the end of the fight, the Killer Queen falls in love with him, but he leaves straight after the fight. After a while, it turns out Kunai and Zero are the same person. Later, they meet Yukikaze and Mika, a great sword user. They are trying to find an exciting adventure and they finally choose one. Meanwhile, Akira, Luna, and Ako carry on their journey. On their way, Kunai offers Luna a new outfit and asks her to change in her carriage. In the desert, we see Yukikaze and her companion trying to hunt the sand wolves like the adventure said. Yukikaze starts explaining how much the monsters they are looking for are dangerous, and there have been times where they attacked and destroyed whole cities. Speak of the devil. They get attacked by these wolves, so all they can do is run in fear, and they coincidentally meet the carriage of our group. Kunai saw them and decided to face the monster on his own as an opportunity to improve his skills. He activates the battle mode and starts his attack. Impressively and without even making a step forward, the man slaughters all the sand wolves and leaves with his two girls, leaving the adventurers behind in shock. After a while, the man creates another base camp to stay in with the girls, and this impresses Luna. Then he gets to know there are 8 aides that work directly under his orders, and every last one of them is worth at least 1,000 of anyone else. So now he's thinking about summoning one of them to stand on his side, and he calls Yu Kirino, a sadistic genius doctor and scientist. As they get to know each other, the woman mentions the Nightlight City that houses the greatest technology in the Great Empire. Next, he introduced the new maid to the girls. Shortly after, she cures Ako's broken leg to give her back the ability to walk normally like all the kids of her age. The little girl thanks Kunai and the doctor for their great help, and the man also thanks his maid, and it is the first time a person ever acknowledged her presence, so she falls in his love. Somewhere else in this world, in a bar owned by a woman called Numa, Yukikaze tells the woman how much Kunai was powerful and how she did fall in his love. Meanwhile, the leader of the Satanist organization, Walken, meets his boss Utopia, who betrays him for failing in his mission. Then he introduced they will destroy the holy capital. As Kunai and his group are moving forward to their destination, they pass across Luna's village. The first thing Kunai noticed is how bad the area is maintained, so he automatically realized that the church is manipulating Luna as a puppet by dumping the most problematic land on her, and they will not complain if this abandoned village will be taken by Kunai. And here, they plan to run a doctor's office and people, so the whole kingdom will be able to come and get free medical treatment. Then we meet Kion and Momo, two bunny girls living in this village, and they are complaining about the water shortage. Kunai sends Yu to investigate the well, and then he summons a pulley wheel that can draw water from even dried up wells. The two bunny girls seem to be amazed by the magic that Kunai is creating for them, and in addition to the pulley wheel, he summons some fertilizers and tells Luna that he wants to help the villagers to develop their land. Meanwhile, the head noble Donadona and the head soldiers martial arts, in addition to the eldest holy maiden Angel White, are discussing how Luna decided to take over the church-run territory to run it on her own, and they are afraid she's been deceived by the one calling himself Demon Lord. The men want to kill him, but the maid orders them to be patient and give the case more time. After this, Killer Queen arrives and reveals her love for Zero, and she almost lost her mind only after remembering how he looks like. In the bar, Organ and her friend Mink discuss the trading stories about Demon Lord. Suddenly, the bar owner Lei interrupts and shows them the bounty poster on him, so they get excited and Mink suggests performing a blood oath despite her being a priestess. Meanwhile, Kunai and the rest of the group are enjoying a fancy dinner and some drinks, and in order to cheer the girls, he summons a strawberry cake to make them taste it. Suddenly, a super rich lady interrupts their moment of joy. She introduces herself as Butterfly and tries to make a good relationship with Kunai, so he simply invites her to join the table. The man makes a telepathic chat with Luna to know more about the shiny lady who's coming over. After knowing that she has tons of connections and she's hugely influential among nobles, he decides to make her his ally. Demon Lord tells Butterfly that he wants to make all the village look like heaven and make them all look similar to the holy capital, and start by offering some soap to Butterfly since he knew she likes shiny stuff. By this, he could gain her trust. Suddenly, the Satanists attack the holy capital. The Demon Lord happily receives the news, considers it as a chance to show his power. He orders Yu to protect all the people, then he jumps to face the enemy. When he arrives at the location, he finds Yukikaze and Mikan struggling in the fight, so he joins their team. However, the plan didn't work as expected. After defeating the villains, they sacrifice their lives to summon a huge monster. It uses his magic to create a frozen area where people can do nothing, and they will not be able to escape unless the monster is defeated. However, Kunai managed killing him easily, leaving the citizens in shock. Utopia, the founder of the Black Capes organization, calls a demon girl named Throne in order to give him the update, but he yells at her after knowing what happened to the organization member. In the same fancy restaurant, people celebrate in the presence of a weird clown who turns out to be an assassin planning to kill Kunai and his friends. However, Yu is smart enough to discover this plan, and she makes the first step by dissecting his arms, and she promises to kill him if he will show his face again. On the other side, the Killer Queen and her assistant manage defeating some low-level demon girls with the help of the head soldier martial arts. Somewhere else, Mink and her friend created their own army of priests, and the Satanists got informed about this, so they sacrificed their lives to summon the Prince of Darkness, Orion. Angel White could feel the danger coming, so she shielded the city with her power, while Killer Queen tries to kill him with her hammer. Suddenly, Mink joins the party, but before doing anything, Throne arrives and starts dropping haze, a dark fluid that freezes humans. The Prince of Darkness takes advantage of this situation and uses his array of evil to defeat the two women. Kunai was watching since the beginning and transformed himself to Zero in order to confront Orion, and all he needed to defeat such a demon was only a couple of blows by Zero. The prince needed some blood, so he jumps to Throne and sucks her blood, leaving her on verge of death. Luckily, Zero knows how to heal wounds. After seeing this, the demon gets transformed to a huge talking bat and attacks Zero. Surprisingly, the Dragon Warrior takes him down with one single punch, and like the first time, he leaves people in shock. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you next time with a new anime. Until then, take care.